Mental health. How many people do you think are suffering from mental health issues? Whether it is depression, anxiety, bipolar disorder, just your typical obsessive compulsive behaviors, obsessive compulsive thoughts, hostility, anger, just deregulated emotions and misplaced energy or lost energy. How many people do you know are suffering from this type of disorder? I can literally name 25 people without even stopping. 90% of those folks are medicated. Praise Jesus. I am not suffering with any mental health, nor have I suffered with any mental health since my I was about 26 when I had some pretty severe mental health crisis, which is typically about the age that it's going to hit for a young woman. And I certainly, learning to cope with the adult life and responsibilities was a little more than this little brain could handle when I was a young woman. But I grew into it, found the coping skills, found the tools that I needed, and got on the other side of it. So my point is, this morning, I am almost certain that you know a number of people that suffer with this. But how many of those people that you know use nutrition as their go-to first prescription for their mental health? I bet this many. Maybe this many. But I'm going to bet this many. People just don't make the connection to their mental health stability and what goes in their mouth. And let me give you an example. Greg has a super high intolerance for carbohydrates. They completely wreck him. They wreck his physical body, his metabolism, his gut health. I mean, they wreck him. And it wasn't until he started carnivore and got off of everything that had been doing so much damage within his body that we were able to identify exactly how toxic those things were to him. And they were truly toxic, painfully toxic. Well, imagine the same toxicity in someone, but rather than that toxicity manifesting in the physical body, so their gut may not react, on and on, but the inflammation takes place in their brain. It's part of the body. It's completely logical that people would have various different reactions to the toxicity, both in the plant world and in the grain world, the carbohydrate world, period. So whether that toxicity, that inflammation, that chronic inflammation manifests itself physically in your physical body, so you're hyper aware of it because it's painful, or whether it manifests itself in your mental body, in your brain through swelling, deregulation of emotions, hypersensitivity, obsessive compulsive thought disorder, all of these disorders that are mental disorders have gone off the hook in the same relationship or in the same, magnitude that our health has completely gone off the rails. There is a connection to what you put in your mouth and your mental clarity and your mental health. If your brain is reacting to the toxins in the food that you ingest, as perhaps someone else's body reacts, then it stands to reason that our mental health is declining so incredibly quickly. Young people, these babies, 12, 13, 14 years old being put on medications when the prescription should start with their nutrition and not even consider moving into a pharmaceutical until that approach, that line of defense against mental and brain breakdown, nutrition has been exercised as much as it can possibly be exercised. And then once that has happened, then perhaps there does need to be some balancing with pharmaceuticals, but never as your first line of defense against mental illness. Let your nutrition clean out the cupboard of your mind. Let's see if the root of this pain, this mental pain, is being born in your nutrition. And then not only will your brain heal, but as a result, your body will heal. And you will be on top of the world. If you need the aid of pharmaceuticals after you've exhausted the nutritional route, then by all means, this is not a judgment against pharmaceuticals at all. This is a judgment against not utilizing the most practical, the most cost-effective, the most holistic, the most organic means of resolution before you start exploring the toxicity that comes with the healing properties of the pharmaceutical world. Yes, they have healing properties, but yes, they all have a level of toxicity. So it's a good with the bad kind of thing, where if you take just the nutritional approach, it's the good with the good, getting out the bad. So our preacher is doing an entire sermon series on mental health, which I appreciate and I love, and I think that so many people are going to benefit from this topic being brought up and being brought out into the open. But I still have so many reservations about not leading from a point of holistic health and getting the robber out of the house. Get the robber, the thing that is robbing you of your health, your mental clarity, your molecular structure, your molecular health, cellular health. Get the thief out of the house, and then you can actually start troubleshooting what is really wrong. And if pharmaceuticals are still needed, then you can go down that path. But let that be a second path, not the first path. I implore you, if you have some type of mental impairment at this time, consider your nutrition along with your doctor and your doctor's advice. Consider your nutrition. Consider the inflammatory effects that a standard American diet could have on your mind, your brain, your function. It affected Greg's body, but that is not to say that it couldn't affect someone else's mind and the way that their brain operates. So it's worth considering. I love you all very much. And if we can just do one thing to help make life better and a higher quality, then I'm all for it. And I think that one thing is what goes in our mouth. I think you'd see the whole world become a brighter, happier place if we weren't dealing with the side effects of the global epidemic of obesity and our bodies not functioning the way that they were intended to function strictly because of the standard American diet that has run rampant throughout the world now. Okay, something to think about. I love you all very much. Have a really, really great day.